Arcelia, hello, how are you? Good to have you here. Edward, what's up, buddy? Good to have you as well. I'm just getting set up right now. Give me a minute. Make sure all my streaming's good. Make sure all the cameras are right. Uh, Sound check for those of you out there listening. How's the quality? You guys hearing me clear? Oh, and don't forget rule number one to the live stream. When you get in, you must say hello. It's a must. There's only a couple ground rules that, you got to do that. Arcelia, sound is good? All right, Edward. So I got you on the Black Mirror. I haven't watched it yet, but I do have some time this weekend. I'll probably get a chance to watch a little bit Saturday night, and I'll probably do some watching on Sunday too. Um, I'll have to watch it probably before I have my softball games, though I've got a double header Sunday in the evening, so I'll probably have to watch it in the afternoon, but or Sunday morning. I'll find some time to watch it. I spoke to somebody about it in the middle of the week, and they recommended it too. They said it was a really good show. How far into the show is it? Is it like second season, third season? All right, we got 5 people in the chat. Arcelia says, "Did you hear that Netflix owes a lot of money?" No, I haven't heard anything about a debt. Do you know what it pertains to? What the debt is from? I'm guessing it might be something involved with production or some kind of contractual issues with the studios, possibly. If stocks are rising for Netflix and they've got some debt, I mean that just goes to show you the growth expectation for Netflix. I mean their revenue stream is very, very good. I mean people have multiple Netflix accounts, coming out of households because they only give you a certain number of live streams or whatever simultaneous streams. Uh, oh, it is from the production side. Yeah, yeah, the studios are growing and they've got people to pay, and I'm sure they owe quite a bit. But believe you me, the money is gonna be there. Nobody's concerned about Netflix. Edward, you got your Nighthawk hotspot the other day. Okay. Uh, you gotta see what kind of speeds you get. Oh wow, you're getting 40 up and 15 down. That's pretty good. Uh, it's weird about AT&T's mobile hotspots. I get a really, really fast speed on the upload and a very inconsistent download speed. So I see the same thing as you. Let's see who else. We've got 5 people in the chat. If you guys are popping in, make sure you say hello. It's Friday. SMT live stream. I think this is number 4. Done 3 or 4 live streams. Edward, Arcelia, did you guys watch the newest upload? I just uploaded something to YouTube about a couple hours ago, um, as it pertains to the root metrics performance testing results for the big 4 carriers. Definitely want to check that out if you want to see how well you did in terms of your network in your area. Idiot Greg, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. See, Greg knows the ground rules. You say hello when you come into the live chat. Got 7 people and strong. Watching Sprint stock all morning. Oh man. I bet you Sprint's kind of been up and down lately ever since the merger. Probably had a temporary spike, which is good, and then it probably dropped a little or whatever. Um, I don't know. I think with Sprint, it's kind of day to day, isn't it? Self-driving cars, not very long. It's going to be pretty soon. I think as long as uh, technology progresses to the point where the artificial intelligence and the connectivity of the devices is reliable, they'll start sending those things out into the streets pretty quickly. I'd say by 2030, we'll see fleets of autonomous vehicles all over freeways and streets. Earnings calls on the first. Okay. Wait, so which quarter is that for Sprint? That would be what, quarter one, 2018, they'd be reporting? I feel like they're always behind a quarter. And actually, I'm kind of bummed out. T-Mobile was the only company that didn't report earnings this week. So we got the Verizon earnings first, then AT&T came in, and nothing from Sprint or T-Mobile. But the Sprint we didn't expect, but the T-Mobile we actually expected. When I went onto the website, the T-Mobile website, I saw that it was scheduled for the 25th. We were supposed to get a T-Mobile's earnings call. Uh, so yeah, okay, so that makes sense. Um Connor, welcome, buddy. Good to see you here in the live chat. Yeah, so the newest upload is the one from the Root Metrics. You guys definitely want to see that. Um, get a good idea of how the networks are doing relative to where you are, your region, your city. I wanted to see how they were doing in my area and in the Cleveland area, and they were, I have Verizon, and they're still doing pretty strong. They showed out. They were the best performing network as, according to Root Metrics. Yeah, T-Mobile's midband is doing really good. Actually, for the most part, the 600 megahertz and the second 100 megahertz, 700 megahertz rollouts are really supporting the network with T-Mobile quite a bit. I could tell you here in the Cleveland area, there are a lot of happy customers. We've been getting the mid-band upgrades, a lot of new sites. I've been seeing some tower work. I forget who I was speaking to last week in the live stream, but we were talking about how we saw a lot of tower climbers up doing some work on some antennas and stuff like that. That's probably T-Mobile's crew up there. Good news coming from Sprint, Edward Alex. Yeah. Hey, Pete, you didn't say hello when you came in the chat. What are you doing, bro? It's okay, man. Good to have you. Uh, so I've got the Pixel 2 XL, and I could tell you right now, like I have Verizon, and it flies on the network, on the Verizon network. I would be tempted to see how it would perform on T-Mobile's network. I wonder how many carriers it would aggregate. I hear that it can only do 2 carrier aggregation, which is disappointing. I'd love to see it do 3, because I know on my network, in my region, it would probably support band 2, 4, and 13. So I know band 4 is kind of their fast band. Roland, hello, my friend. Welcome. You know what, Arcelia? I'm not really sure where your home region is, but there's not many areas out in the U.S. that actually have gigabit provisions. You're not going to really, nobody, it's hardly out there. There's select regions that have it, select markets. I've been waiting for it in Cleveland, and I mean, I'd probably venture that maybe 20% of the Cleveland area and the suburbs have gigabit speeds. They usually don't. I can't find any. I mean, there's places out here in the Cleveland area that are still getting 2 and 3 megabits per second. Gigabit speed's way out of the question. And you know what, Pete? You know what's crazy? Uh, you think about 40 megs versus 100 megs. I mean, what are you doing that requires more than 50 megs? So yeah, I'm with you. I wouldn't upgrade necessarily. You're gonna spend $700 on a phone that's already a year old and the third generation's up and coming. Yeah, I wouldn't spend the money. All right, we've got 14 people in the live chat. Some people need to say hello. If you're just popping in, we haven't really gotten started yet. The live stream was technically to start at 2 o'clock, but I just wanted to get things rolling, make sure audio was good, video was good. So welcome to everybody out there who hasn't said hello yet. So all you need is about 3 megabits per second. I would say that the highest demand that I place on my LTE demands is probably just watching video. And if you're watching at full HD, 1080p, I mean, what do you need? Like 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 megabits per second. So all the rest of it's overkill. But it is nice when you can send a large file, like maybe a video file or something like that, in just a minute. All right, for those of you just joining, I'm not sure if everybody's done so yet, but I just dropped. I uploaded the video yesterday. For those of you that are on Patreon, you probably already saw it, but I just uploaded it for the general public to YouTube and all the subscribers. Definitely check it out. It's the root metrics report for half one of 2018. See how your network provider did. In your area, city by city, or you could check just by region. I put the links in the description of that video, so by all means, go ahead and check it out at some point today. It's a good video, a lot of good info there. Daniel, thanks for the compliment, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been trying to expand some of the features here on the channel. I just do the video uploads during the week, and it wasn't really too demanding. I used to just do a little bit of research, record, and upload. And I thought to myself, what can I do to maybe expand the channel and offer some more? So I thought of maybe doing the live stream once a week, and then doing kind of like a weekly recap podcast type deal, which I do on Sundays and Mondays. So, if I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to see from the channel, let me know. I've been doing some reactions. I don't know if you guys have seen those. I think I've done 2 of them. One was to a Sprint commercial, and the other one was to, I think it was the Sprint and T-Mobile merger presentation to Congress and Senate. So I've done a couple of reaction reviews or whatever. So if you guys like those and you want to see more of those, I could definitely do that. Those are fun. I like doing those, and they're usually pretty short and easy to do. Yeah, Edward Alex, I'm at 984 subs. Trying to crack that 1K mark. I'm trying to get 1,000 subs. I was trying to get it by the end of this week. I was hoping to get it before August started, but whenever it happens, it happens. I'm not going to press the issue. I'm just happy to see that the channel's been growing. The first year I had 500 subs. So my goal for year 2 was to add 600 subs, which would put us at 1,100, but I'm probably going to beat that for sure. I'm definitely expecting I don't know, 1,100 subs maybe by September, October. So yeah, the channel has been growing, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a cool ride. I've learned a lot, and I've been enjoying myself doing it here on the channel, making the videos and interacting with you guys in the comments and stuff like this. The live stream's been cool. It's been a fun ride. Yeah, Pete, I'm trying to get the Patreon thing to get going. What I'm doing with Patreon is, the bonuses of doing the Patreon is to get early access to all the videos I put to YouTube. And not just early access, but you get access to exclusive content that I make videos of topics that don't find their way onto the YouTube channel. And actually what I do is, every so often I'm going to make a poll for Patreon to see what my patrons want to see more of. So like I just did a poll asking, what do the patrons want to see videos on? And, they voice their opinions. So I'll be gearing more of my content in the future towards that content. So, definitely consider, checking it out. To all of you out there watching, the Patreon is, I think it's really good. I think it allows me to kind of be more particular about the subjects that I cover and the topics in the videos, and it allows me to fine tune things for the people that support me on Patreon. So check it out. All my more recent videos have links in them for the Patreon. Take a look, and there's some public videos on there and stuff you could see that's free of charge. But definitely consider supporting me there. You know what sucks, Arcelia? So Sprint, some of the most basic features that pretty much all carriers offer, like voice over LTE, Sprint doesn't offer on a national level. Not all markets have it, and then not all devices support it. So I think there's a handful of Samsung devices that do voice over LTE. I'm not sure if any of the LGs. I think the V30 does. It's just unfortunate. Like something like voice over LTE has become so mainstream and so commonly used, uh, and Sprint hasn't really, put it out there for the masses to use. So it puts you what in like 3G when you're using data over your voice. You know what, Edward Alex? I never liked Paul, man. I never liked Paul. I didn't like Paul when he was with Verizon. I didn't like Paul when he was with Sprint. Yeah, the robots are cooler. Actually, I think from a marketing standpoint, yeah, the robot's definitely better. Uh, Pete, are you talking about the voice over LTE with AT&T? Actually, if you're using an unlocked device with AT&T and T and it's not an actual AT&T branded phone, you won't get voice over LTE. I know because I used to have AT&T in my main driver. I used an AT&T SIM, and because my device was unlocked, it was a Nexus 5X. I didn't get voice over LTE, so I had to switch back to Verizon to get that feature. And I think voice over LTE is important. You put the phone on speaker, you browse, you do what you got to do, and you have get your LTE speed. Nobody wants to be booted into HSPA or 3G. It's ridiculous. It's 2018. These features should not be restricted. That's one of the reasons why I can't stand AT&T with their unlocked phone policies. Pete, I'm glad you liked that video. For those of you that are interested in a really, really good um, video on the skepticism of 5G and how it can affect health, so we're talking about like the frequency waves and stuff like that. The video on Patreon, 5G guinea pigs, is really good. When I was doing the research on it, when I was doing my homework and reading, there were a lot of things that really opened my eyes to 5G and what type of risk factors that could be there. And there's so many different schools of thought on it. There's so many ideas that people have that are inconclusive but interesting. So it's a good discussion to have. Definitely check out the video. I think it's worth it. My patrons have probably seen it. I'd like to see more people view it, so check that out if you guys have the time. Flyboy Rex, welcome to the chat, my friend. Do you think the new T-Mobile will surpass Verizon? No, I do not. As much as I would like to see T-Mobile become like, I guess the big carrier, it's I mean, it's possible, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Verizon's way ahead in 5G infrastructure. Verizon's way ahead in 4G LTE. Verizon's way ahead in just overall performance. They've got, way more subs. They've got, even with the merger between Sprint and T-Mobile, they would still have more customers. I mean, that could change in 10 years, but no time soon. T-Mobile wouldn't pass Verizon at all. Landon, welcome to the chat, my friend. Trying to catch up here. That's interesting, Landon. Data Addictos. David, welcome, my friend. Let's see here. Edward Alex says the merger is taking forever. Thought everyone would be paid off by now. It's not going to be done anytime soon. Even when the merger is completed at some point in the middle of 2019, the integration of the networks and the actual combination of the customers, and what they're doing with prepaid, it's going to take some time. Network integration may not be for 3 years or so. We may not see a full integration until 2022. I've been hearing that 2021 at the earliest. You know what, Peter? You talking about the health impacts harming IoT? Um, I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to have to tweak 5G application. I think they're going to have to tweak how much in terms of like the frequency and the wattage that's being deployed from certain sites like the small cells. I think it's going to depend how close people are and whether or not it's indoor or outdoor use. Obviously, if there's outdoor use, the beam formation is a little bit different than indoor use. It's less concentrated. So we'll kind of have to see it. You know what kind of sucks is they're almost kind of testing it as they're deploying it, which is really unfortunate. You'd think they would do some more thorough testing and reporting on it, but I think that's going to be kind of the situation there. They're going to learn as they go. Um, so kind of learning on the job. So Arcelia, which deal do you have? Do you have like an older promotion? So I'm guessing it dates back several months ago or something like that. See, Pete, I'm the same way. Even though I use Verizon, there's a lot of things I don't like about them. I'd love to see the new T-Mobile be kind of like the new dominant player and the providers, but I just don't see it happening, at least not anytime in the near future. Daniel says where I am, not getting a good 4G connection, 1 to 3 bars. All right, so Daniel, who's your provider? You got a weak signal there, 1 to 3 bars. You know what the problem is when your phone is getting 1 to 3 bars? You're not only getting a weak signal, so your reception isn't good and your LTE is not fast, but it also drains your battery because it's searching for a signal. It's the worst, especially when it's down to like that 1 bar mark. Dish's plans for mobile service? I haven't seen any advertised. Um, I don't even know what are they. How are they doing that service? Have you seen ads for it? Edward, Alex, good point, man. Verizon, they have a lot of money. They're not. They're like the most financially stable out of all four of the big carriers. AT&T would be the most financially stable, but they've got their hands in so many different things. It kind of makes them a little bit rocky from week to week, month to month. You'll see stocks and stuff like that dropping and peaking a little bit. It's if you follow that, you'll see kind of what the analysts and what the market researchers how they feel about the carriers tells you about their financial situation, and they feel very strongly about Verizon, especially moving forward with 5G. Yeah, it's true, David. The only issue is when the device's signals are weak, the battery seems to die faster. It's always like searching, especially if it's like you're getting no service, then you get, 3G, and then it goes into LTE, and then it searches again. It's just a battery drain. That constant connecting, disconnecting is horrible. Which is why I think phones that have Wi-Fi calling and can do all of the texting and all that through Wi-Fi, that's the best way to go. Is when you don't have a signal, but you can connect by Wi-Fi, it'll definitely conserve your battery. Not having to consistently search for an LTE signal. Okay, Daniel, you got T-Mobile. So you would say that T-Mobile's coverage in Old River, uh, Dayton, Texas area, you'd say it's probably not that good. That's probably one of the areas and regions that we're going to see 600 megahertz deployment. Definitely check the list on the T-Mobile website to see if it's going to be getting there soon, or if it has received it yet. Maybe you just need to get a phone that's compatible with it. Because that's the problem. As T-Mobile's making these network upgrades, we've got all these new bands that are being utilized. if you have an old legacy device and it doesn't have those LTE bands, you can't take advantage of that coverage, which could be important to somebody in a rural area that just received 600 megahertz and your phone, is incompatible. You won't be able to take advantage of it. You know what, David? I've noticed that band 4 is this fast speed comes from. And actually, when a device has carrier aggregation and it includes a region that has band 4, that's where T-Mobile gets LTE speeds downloads like 120 megabits per second, 140 megabits per second, like the S9 or something like that. It'll fly. Same thing with Verizon. That's Verizon's speed band. I've seen areas in the Cleveland area where speeds for Verizon can exceed 100, 140 megabits per second with band 4. Riley, what's up, buddy? New MacBook Air, worth it or not? What's the new MacBook Air's cost? Is it the same or more than the last generation? I know the new Macs are. Is it the MacBook Pro, the expensive one? I hear that thing is needing some software updates. It's heating up and it's having some throttling issues because of heating. Yeah, Riley, what's the cost on that new MacBook? 750 bucks for a new MacBook? Good deal. Really good deal. You must have got it with like a student discount or something like that. That's a great deal. Yeah. I wonder, Peter, in terms of the MacBook, like how do you have an actual design flaw so extreme to where like the MacBook itself is overheating? Like how did you not test that during research and development? When you're building prototypes and you're trying out the different models, how is that not tested for? I don't understand. Like Apple's one of the biggest companies in the world. They're one of the most successful. They make great hardware. I don't understand how they could have these throttling issues. It just doesn't make any sense. Arcelia asks, how often should you upgrade your phone? You should upgrade whenever you want. And I guess as much as you can afford. When you feel like your device is slowing down and you've reset it, you've taken care of it, you've done your software updates, and you feel like it's lagging, maybe it's time to upgrade. But I wouldn't just upgrade just for the sake of it. I would upgrade when you feel like it's worth it to upgrade to something different. I can tell you right now, like when it comes to iPhones, it's not worth it to upgrade iPhones every year. Most iPhone iterations are so small from year to year. You're probably better off upgrading every 2 or even 3 years. I would say that the iPhone 7 is still a good iPhone, even today. The 6S is a little bit long in the tooth, but even the iPhone 7 is a good phone, and that's about to hit 2 years here shortly. When it comes to Androids, you definitely want to upgrade an Android every 2 years. Unless it's a flagship, you might be able to get away with 3 years. But the problem with Androids is they stop getting software support. So unless you've got like a Pixel device or something like that. Riles got his iPhone 6S. Tell you what, man, the iPhone 6S fixed a lot of problems from the iPhone 6. So if anybody out there ever owned the iPhone 6, maybe you have a bent frame, maybe you have a bad battery, maybe you had touch disease. I mean, those were just problematic phones. The 6S, they used the better aluminum. They kind of sort of fixed the battery problem. I don't remember hearing anything about touch disease on the 6Ss, but they definitely fixed a lot of those problems. The 6S is a much superior phone to the 6. Edward Alex says 40 billion is what Dish owns of Spectrum. It's a lot of dough, man, 40 billion. Yeah, where is Ellie? Is Ellie in the house? Or is Ellie out swimming somewhere, doing cannonballs? But see, Peter, that's the thing. Like, you're saying it only does 2 years of OS updates, but 2 years for an operating system update for an Android is that's superior to any other phone. And in terms of security patches, 4 years of security patches keeps a phone secure for a long time. I mean, if you do online banking, if you do any type of transactions, PayPal, you want to keep your stuff secure. I mean, how many devices see 4 years of security patches? So that's, people ask me like, what could you recommend as a secure phone for Android? It's pretty much the Pixel phones. That's the only one I could recommend. Maybe some Samsung devices because they get security patches pretty consistently. Maybe the Blackberries. I would say those are pretty secure also. Brian, what's up, buddy? My personal carrier, I actually have two. I have two SIMs. One, which is in my regular phone. That's a Verizon SIM, and then I also have a data-only AT&T SIM. The AT&T SIM is actually in a mobile hotspot, which I use at home and anywhere else. It's unlimited, so that's what I'm currently using. Yeah, the Pixel 2 is going to see 3 years of operating system updates, I think. So that'll what? It came with Android O, so it'll get P. Uh, what are they going to name Android Q? Android does those updates by the names of desserts and stuff like that. What are they going to do with that one? Crazy. You know what, Edward? I saw an article about Dish and working with Sprint and T-Mobile. I think they're going to wait to see what the T-Mobile and Sprint merger looks like, and then they might actually be supporting uh, they might be supporting a small 5G network region to region. I think that's kind of what it's going to be because based on their spectrum allocations, they might be able to support it. We'll have to wait and see. Any Android One devices? Are Android One devices pretty much those phones? I mean, they're newer phones, so the Android One program is you have these budget-minded phones, these more affordable phones that run like a real stock version of Android, and it's for phones that don't have a lot of RAM, don't have a lot of high-end specs, but they're supposed to run Google really, really well. That's a good way to go. Those will probably see 2 or 3 years of security patches, and they'll probably see the major updates for a couple of years. That'd be a good way to go if you wanted a secure phone. You know what, Brian? I do look at Reddit. The only thing about Reddit is there's just so much on Reddit. I try to read and I try to catch up with things, and people post a lot of good information, but it's hard. You really got to scour it for a long time to get all the information if you're looking for it. But it's nice. There's a lot of stuff there. A lot of Reddit users provide a lot of good information. Jamie, what up? Saw you there in the chat. I'm still catching up, man. I'm a little behind. You know what, Pete? I've been working on iPhones for a while. The one thing that Apple does that is to its advantage for security is the simple fact that it's a closed operating system. I mean, that helps big time. It's definitely it's a more secure situation than Android being an open operating system. Oh, Arcelia, didn't mean to miss you there. You said, do you think Apple is dead in terms of innovation? Uh, I wouldn't say it's dead in terms of innovation. It's just very iterative. Things just happen really slowly. Like year to year, they try to offer you a new feature, um, but it's just they're really slow to adopt the new features and cool things. So, when it comes to iPhones, if you were like, say, you love iMessage, you love the Apple ecosystem, you're invested in it, I wouldn't feel the pressure to buy the new iPhone every year. I would probably do an upgrade cycle of every 2.5 years. Why would I need to rush out to get the new hardware that doesn't offer anything so differently from last year's model? So that's kind of what that is. Yeah, Riley, I would say iPhone is secure. I mean, compared to all the other options, it's one of the most secure devices that are out there. Um, I think as long as you stay away from shady business online, you should be good though. So you can keep any phone secure. Just don't do too much in terms of nonsense online. Bank accounts and all that stuff is very sensitive. All right, I'm trying to catch up in the chat here. Let's see what we got. You know what, Landon? Landon says, I wish there were mid-range devices with consistent software upgrades. Uh, if you wanted to do consistent software upgrades, I would probably I would probably steer you to like a 1 year old Pixel device. You could save a lot of money, especially if you buy used, and you still have the support for a couple of years. So I would say like maybe getting a Pixel 2 or a Pixel 2 XL after October, November would be a great time to buy one, and you'd have support for at least another couple of years. So that'd be the way to save a few $100s and then have a nice secure device. Oh, that's right, David. The Android Go phones are those cheaper ones. Yeah, the Android One phones though, that's kind of like the Google Play edition, if I remember correctly. That's kind of like what they're doing with that. Um, Keeping the stock Android, bringing some new devices to the table, more like mid-range budget type devices. Brian, you can actually use my Gmail address, which is sneedbubbletech at gmail.com. You could use that as a contact Gmail address. Or, Brian, if you want, you can contact me through Patreon. There are links in the descriptions for my most recent videos. Check it out. You could drop me comments there. I'm very interactive, both on YouTube and Patreon. So, either way works for me. You know what, Pete? For somebody who has worked at Apple, I bet you know quite a bit. There's a lot that I know about Apple's devices and their operating system just from working on the phones myself. Apple's definitely flawed. They're not a perfect company. And actually, the last 2 or 3 years, they've become severely flawed and a lot of glaring issues within the hardware and the software. Um, it used to be that if you wanted a phone that worked well, you just went to an iPhone. I can't say that anymore. I can't say just go to an iPhone if you want something that works. You go to an iPhone if you're invested in the ecosystem, but it's not as reliable as it once was. I'm sure, for people out there using iPhones, you get error reports, you get, bugs and crashes happen with apps. It's it's just kind of the way it's become. So now when people ask me what should I get, I mean people always ask, I say, you know, you can't just fall back on the iPhone. You can't say, oh well, it just always works. Well, it has the same number of problems, if not more, than some of the competing Androids. Yeah, that's true, David. Windows, yeah, that's very true. Linux, in terms of the kernels that they use for Android, they're actually pretty secure. But I think the problem comes from what we allow in terms of us as users, what we allow ourselves to download that gets in. Um, so yeah, like I said, if you stay away from the riffraff online and you're not trying to download any shady movies or whatever, you probably won't download anything harmful. Just stick to what you're getting from the Play Store and the App Store. You know what, Jamie? You're thinking about doing a channel on sports. I say do it, man. I'll subscribe. Uh, Everybody loves sports, right? I'd say like 90% of the population is into some level of sports, whether it's hoops or football or whatever. Go ahead and do it, man. Start small, just do a couple of things, and then kind of branch out. Start doing podcasts, do live streams. If the idea is to let your voice be heard and get your opinion out there, just go ahead and do it, man. You have my support. I endorse you, my friend. All right, got to catch up here. Edward Alex, I only upgrade when new bands come out. That's probably the best way to go. The problem is not everybody is like conscious and aware of new bands. They don't even know like a regular consumer has no idea what bands are. I mean, you ask them what a band is, they'll tell you it's a musical group that makes music, you know. But in terms of LTE, right, bands, it makes sense. Upgrade when, you know, a company has new bands and you're with them and you want to get a new device that's supported. So yeah, I'm with you on that. Hey, Nintendo 504, what's up, buddy? Good to have you. Glad you're here. Oh, wow, Pete. That's really, really unfortunate. So they fired you because of that, huh? Wow. Riley says, my circle button on my Apple Watch is tough to use. Any idea on how I can get it to move smooth? The only thing I could tell you is if it was working well before and now it's not working well, and it's not a hardware issue, like you didn't drop the watch or anything like that, I would try to power it down and restart it. And if that doesn't work, I would just do a complete reset, a hard reset, and just start from scratch. A lot of those software bugs, the only way they get better is if you reset the device. It's either that or you're going to the Apple store and have them do it for you. I'm not sure what type of backups you have to do for an Apple Watch. I'm guessing it just backs up your apps or something like that, so it shouldn't be too bad. David Brown, no, man, you do not want to download that stuff. That stuff is the worst. You'll be downloading all types of madness. Nintendo 504, I've been excellent. Thank you for asking. How are you, my friend? Yeah, yeah, Def Leppard, exactly. What are bands? You know, and it's not anybody's fault that they don't know what a band is as it relates to LTE. I mean, we're a very we're a very strange community, the tech community, like especially us network technology. We care about stuff that most people don't even know exists, right? Like LTE bands and radio compatibility with devices, but I mean, it's good that we're knowledgeable about this stuff because what it means is because you're a more informed consumer, you're going to be making better purchasing decisions because you know which features certain phones have and which ones have those features absent. And of course, it's always fun being like the family tech person that knows everything about, you know, smartphones and whatnot. Justin Lane says my Aristo 2 Plus has band 71. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one, and I think I don't know if it's the LG K20, also has it. So those are some of the more affordable devices that support band 71 compatibility. Do you actually, Justin Lane, if do you know if it supports band 66? Because I know 71 is for the 600 megahertz, and band 66 gets a lot of speed and capacity support. Nintendo 504, you got the Gear 3. How's that running for you? What is that, about a year old now? The Gear 3? There's a new Samsung smartwatch actually coming out very, very soon. I think it's going to be announced with the Note, which means the Note 9 and this new Samsung Galaxy Watch are going to come out here in a couple weeks. Oh, the actual button, not the software. You might have a defective knob. Um, might have to just take it back to them and get a new one, or see if they can do something to get it repaired. All right, Jamie. So if you're going to be starting a channel from scratch, what I would do is I would just start making videos. I would do an introductory video so that anybody who comes across any of your videos can kind of start there and just kind of talk about the mission of your channel, like what you're doing this for, why you're kind of doing it or whatever, and then just get into the content. Just start making videos. Uh, I don't know, maybe make a couple videos a week. So, you know, let the news or let your opinions stack up over a couple of days, and then kind of start recording and then upload your videos. And believe me, if you make good quality content, the viewership will come. I felt like as soon as my videos started to gain some momentum was when the content started to be better. And it just happens with time. And you'll get good with, you know, video editing and how you want to do that sort of thing. David Brown says 90% of people think phones and computers are magic. Yeah, yeah. The magic of bandwidth, the magic of processors, the magic of batteries. Yeah, they're so magical. You just plug them in and boom, you've got battery life. Witch doctors. You know, a Nintendo 504, like that could be one response to it. Like, I don't give a F about bands. But then there's people that are like, what are bands? Like, they don't know how that relates to their smartphone. They don't know. Some people don't even know which carrier they have because it's like their parents' account. They don't even know what it says in the upper left hand corner of their device, you know, to show you like how little they care about. They just want it to work. They want it to, my phone's on, it's charged, and it works, you know. Oh, I'm sure you're the techie guy at school. I mean, you're going to be the one that everybody's asking questions to. Something goes wrong. Hey, how do you fix this? How do you do this? Yep, that is our duty. We must provide tech support to everybody in the family. All your friends and family know you as the tech geek. Uh, Brian, my opinion on AT&T. Yeah, I'd love to have a discussion. Um, I have a lot of mixed feelings about AT&T. I feel like they're one of the most capable carriers, and then I also feel they're one of the most evil carriers. They've got some ways about them that are very, very frustrating to consumers, and yeah, so there's good and bad with AT&T. All right, so Justin Lane, it's the K30 you were talking about earlier, band 2, 4, 12. Yeah, yeah. So you've got all the LT bands that you need. That's going to be a pretty fast phone. I just don't know what category LTE that device has, but it's nice that you have band 66 and 71 added, so you can get the added coverage. Riley, that's unfortunate, man. Sorry you don't have the Apple Care on that. I might be able to get back to you on that. I think there are a couple of fixes for that little knob. You might just have some crud in there. Uh, there might be a couple of cleaning options there, like with a Q-tip or something like that. But let me get back to you on that. I'll figure out what the best thing is for that. My opinion on Apple Care: there are certain Apple devices you must get Apple Care for. Like you really don't have an option. Like the iPhone 10, for example, the iPhone X, you have to get Apple Care. If you have to repair anything on an iPhone X, an iPhone 10, and it's out and you don't have Apple Care, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. So if you buy an iPhone 10, you have to get Apple Care. You really have no options. The glass back is $300 to replace. If you damage the screen, it's almost $500, to repair it. So Apple Care is pretty much a must, and I think it's $200 for the iPhone 10. Also for the watches, I think Apple Care is a must too. Edward Alex says AT&T is the evil son of Verizon. See, I thought Verizon was the evil brother of AT&T. I thought that's how that went. Yeah, I was gonna say if the Apple Watch is less than a year old, it's manufacturer's warranty. That sounds like it's a defect. All right, Brian, I'll try to make myself available. I do want to get to the gym. I already got my gear on. I got my junky clothes on. I wanted to get to the gym. Today's leg day. Squats, deadlifts, lunges. Uh, so hopefully I can get to the gym and then maybe we could chat a little bit later. But I'll definitely be in touch. Oh, and thank you for the pledge. I appreciate that, Brian. Um, let's see here. Oh, they're sisters, the Ma Bell sisters. Yep. You know what, David? Samsung's would be so much better with all of the bloatware or without the bloatware. Those phones, and this dates back to like TouchWiz, the way the software used to be. They were always laggy after a certain amount of usage. They ran great for a few months, and then you would have to do a reset, and then it would kind of do it again after a couple months of usage, and then after just a year or so, it's getting laggy again. It's kind of a headache. But I hear now that the Samsung devices run great. The software optimizations are actually much better. You got to keep in mind they also have tons of RAM, so like 4, 6, 8 gigs of RAM in these new Androids. The bloatware is less of an issue, but having two of everything, like two voice assistants, two email clients, that's kind of annoying. I wish Samsung actually made like a Google Play edition or an Android One edition Galaxy. I would buy that in a heartbeat because they know how to do hardware. I don't feel like their software is that great. They have tons of features, but features I don't necessarily want or need. Jamie, to start your channel, you're going to need a good set of headphones. You're going to need a good computer. If you're going to be doing some video editing, probably get a microphone since you're going to be like podcasting and stuff like that. Um, Start small. Just start with anything. Record on anything. Record on your phone. Record on your computer, a laptop, a Chromebook, whatever it takes. Just get started. Just jump right in. And as your money situation improves, you get one tool added to the toolbox at a time, and it gets better. Pete says the Samsung bloatware made me buy a Pixel. The Note 4 was great, but the bloat. Yeah, when it comes to hardware, Samsung makes the best. When it comes to software, they've always kind of I don't know, they've always kind of lagged behind. No pun intended. Um, so yeah, I agree. That's why I have a Pixel. I like a smooth operating system. I don't like hiccups. I don't like lag, and I love the experience on the Pixel phones. For the podcast, I would just record it on your phone or record it on a microphone using a laptop or something like that. It doesn't really matter. You could use a good set of Bluetooth headphones if you want to, as long as it has a good built-in mic. But you know what, David? Not everybody's into unlocking bootloaders. Not everybody knows how to install custom ROMs. That stuff is complicated. It needs desktop resources and stuff like that. It takes research. It's complicated. But I definitely agree. If you're gonna own a Samsung, custom ROM support is gonna be huge. You can make it run great. You could change the way the processor runs, stuff like that. It's a good way to go. You know what, Riley? You would chime in with the video editing stuff because you're good at it, man. You've been doing it a while now. Let's see here. Trying to catch up in the chat. T-Mobile has the easiest bootloader to unlock. I feel like, isn't it Verizon has the most difficult bootloaders to unlock? I feel like they're the hardest ones. Or it might be Sprint. It's one or the other. Nintendo 504 says if you're on T-Mobile, I would get Samsung. I agree. I'll get the S9, S9 Plus maybe if you want a larger device for sure. Those phones run great on the T-Mobile network. You're getting great speeds. You're getting all band support. It's a good relationship between those Galaxy phones and T-Mobile. I don't know, man. Everybody really. So Samsung is to Android as the iPhone is to Apple. I mean, in terms of sales, in terms of expectations, it's a pretty phone. Samsung makes they're kind of delicate. You got to put a case on them. They are drop prone. They're slippery. They use glass on glass designs. I mean, they're definitely premium. They're expensive phones and they've got cool looking hardware designs. But when it comes to sheer speed on networks, they are the fastest. buying unlocked is probably the way to go. No bootloaders, no bloatware, no restrictions. You can go network to network. It's probably the best way to go. Why are we talking good about bomb phones? What are you talking about? You must be talking about the Note 7. So I hear some people actually still have Note 7s. How is that possible? Why would anybody still be using a Note 7? Like, they literally sent you a box to your house telling you to return it. And they gave you your money back plus some. And then they got you into the newest phone to get you by until the next Note. Uh, so I. You know what, Riley? For people that say that Apple is simpler than Android, uh, I beg to differ. There's nothing complicated about Android. Absolutely nothing. I know how. I mean, it's only complicated to somebody who doesn't use Android. For anybody that's been using Android as a regular, from year to year, like me as an Android user. I don't even know where to start when navigating through an iPhone. Like I have to remember where the drop down boxes are, where the settings are. It's just what you get used to. It actually has nothing to do with complexity or simplicity. They're all just as complex or just as simple as you make them. Edward, that's not nice, man. Uh, yeah, I've never owned an iPhone under my own accord. I've had iPhones that I've repaired and sold or repaired for my customers, but I just never really. I don't know. Maybe it's just the interface. I never really liked it. I didn't find it visually pleasing. I didn't like actually. So I'm a lot older than you guys, but when the iPhones first were created, so we're talking about like the iPhone 3G, it was an AT&T exclusive. I had Verizon. So it wasn't until the iPhone 4S that the iPhone was available to me through Verizon because everything at the time was like carrier based. You could buy unlocked, but like that was really expensive. It was better to do a 2-year contract and get it subsidized by the carrier. So I just liked Androids and I like the open nature of Android because what I was able to do is I could download things like Popcorn Time and Showbox, and I could download the Flash Player APKs and watch TV on my Androids. These were things I wasn't able to do on an iPhone, so for me, iPhones were never really an option for the tasks I wanted to complete. Yeah, it's true. The bootloader can be locked or unlocked, but like it's easier to do it with an unlocked device. From a network standpoint, like an unlocked phone, you can move to any network you want. You could join an MVNO. You could switch carriers. It's a lot easier in that respect. Yeah, like I said, Riley, it's only simple to you because you've been using it for so long. People pick up an iPhone that normally use Androids and they don't even know where to start. It's just what you pick up. And actually, I mean, I exaggerate a little bit. Like I know how to use an iPhone, uh, but it took me some time. Like I had to figure out where things are, and it's just different. It's just a different format. It's a different appearance. It's a different layout. David switched from iPhone to Android 5 hours ago. Yeah, Jamie, you could probably use your Beats headphones. Uh, it's definitely better to use a cord. Like if you have a cable, a pair of headphones, the quality of sound is always better with a wire. So I definitely recommend that. Beats should be fine in terms of quality. I don't see why not. If it's Bluetooth, that's fine. It's not a big deal. So Nintendo 504, T-Mobile is hard to do a lot of stuff on there. What I mean by that is I had the S7 Edge. I unlocked the bootloader, install a custom ROM. Then they found. So What's the problem? The just because it voids your warranty or something like that? I think Riley, what was that? A 5S, I think. Well, if you're Nintendo 504, if you're good with the custom ROMs and installations and changing and stuff like that, modifying, couldn't you just reinstall a different custom ROM? See, yeah, that's true. If you were to do like a reinstallation of the original software, and the firmware and all that, then how would they know? I'm not sure about the authorization of the channel. I'm not sure how that works. My channel's been up and running for a while now. Uh, I'm not sure. Yeah, if you're ever going to do any customization of ROMs and installation of operating systems, and you plan on doing like a warranty claim or something, you've got to be able to put that stuff back on there. Get it back to running like the way it was out of the box. See, I would never let T-Mobile have access to my device on a regular basis. Why would I allow that? That's crazy. I'm sure people leave it running, and that's how they would get caught up and get their warranty voided. Oh, I remember that. I remember that, Riley. Yeah, the was it the charging port and the headphone jack? I remember that. The ultimate PC hour. Fun fact, I actually don't own a PC. I've got a Chromebook Flip, an Asus model. I have got my Google Pixel 2 XL. I have my Moto Z2 Play. I do have a MacBook Air, my wife's MacBook Air that I use. Um, and if we never married, then I wouldn't have ever used the MacBook Air. I don't know. Uh, I actually, I'm very particular about desktops and PCs. I think if I was going to own a desktop, I would want to do an iMac, just because of functionality. I really like them. I like the setup they've got there, the all-in-one setup. Riley, I'm streaming off my Google Pixel 2 XL. So I've got it connected to a power source, got it charging, got my Bluetooth headphones synced to it, and then I'm also using my Chromebook to look at the live feed right now for the live chat. Edward Alex says, good thing you didn't mention Alienware, or I would have unsubbed. If I was going to do a gaming PC, I'd want a custom. The Alienwares, I'm guessing, what does Gateways? They were the ones that made Alienware, right? Uh, they would really just kill people with the pricing and, give you this substandard gaming PC. I know there's some really, really fancy ones, but like if you're going to do, um, yeah, Dell owns it now. Yeah, if you're gonna do a gaming PC, I would definitely go custom because, you can get your own processor, get your own graphics card. I mean, you set it up the way you want it with the features and the parts you want. That's the best way to go, and you're probably saving money in the process and getting a more powerful device. Not everyone owns 10 PCs like I do. That is a lot of PCs, man. Your electric bill's got to be up there. Yeah, they are expensive, Riley. Uh, David Brown, which Chromebook do you have? What's the make and the model on that? Yeah, Riley, the iMacs are super expensive. I want to say like a typical iMac, like if you're gonna get a good one, you've got to spend like $2,000 at least. Um, I've seen them run up to like 3,000 for some better ones, more feature rich. Uh, but I guess they're worth it. I mean, they last. It's good hardware. You're getting good specs. It's future proof for a while, and they're coming with a ton of software that you can use, especially if you're into editing, video editing and music production or whatever else. Yeah, the best way to go is custom for sure. Wow, Edward, that's pretty vicious. Um, Alienware is like a Ferrari from the outside, but a moped from the inside. Man, that's vicious. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. If you're gonna go gaming, you should go custom. Like I said, Jamie, if you have a good quality microphone built into your headphones, you might be able to get away with that. But a dedicated microphone is always going to be a step above. It's always going to perform better. Now, if you're going to start, you just want to get into it, go ahead and, just start using with what you have. And if you want to order a microphone or wait on a microphone as a gift from a family member, put it on the Christmas wish list, just go about it, man. But just get started. Go ahead. Riley says, I can't stand Chromebooks, and the cheapest one I saw was $1,200. Man, what? I would never spend $1,200 on a Chromebook. You could spend $400 or $500 and get an amazing Chromebook. 4 to 8 gigs of RAM, a quad HD display, you know, premium build, small bezel screen display. You don't have to spend 1,200. You could probably spend half of that and get an amazing Chromebook. Yeah, David, mine's actually an Asus. Mine's one of those Chromebook flips. It's a metal casing, and it's got the plastic keys. It doesn't. The one thing I don't like about my Chromebook is the keyboard doesn't light up. It's not, which kind of sucks at night. It's annoying. Nintendo 504. Aren't you in the Akron area or something like that? You know what, David? The Pixel Book looks awesome, but that is an expensive piece of hardware. It's hard to tell somebody to get into the Chromebook type devices, and where they could spend three, four, $500 to get into basically the same functionality as a Pixel Book. But yeah, the Pixel Books are nice. They are. It's just hard to justify spending $1,000 on them. They are about 1,000 right now, aren't they? Yeah, I remember 504. You're in Akron. You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to do an interactive podcast, like with a guest. So, like, shooting ideas back and forth, having a conversation on tech, on the networks and stuff like that. I'd like to see if there's somebody out there with another channel that's similar to mine where we could do like a collaboration on something, whether it's a podcast or a live stream or whatever. I'd be totally into that. I appreciate the offer, Pete. That would be great, man. You know what, Riley? I have used PCs for gaming. I have played PS4s, although I've never owned one. I own an Xbox. What's the most recent model? That's the Xbox One, is it? Is that the newest one? That's the one I have. Uh, it. I play FIFA. I play UFC. I play 2K. I play Madden. Uh, that's pretty much it. So those are my games, and that's my console. So what I do, Jamie, is I use an app that does a screencast, so it records audio, and it can actually record audio and video simultaneously when you have your screencast up. Uh, get in touch with me, man, and I'll tell you which apps I'm using, and you could try them out, or you could try different ones. But that should get you going for that sort of thing. Nintendo 504 has got two Xbox Ones. You know what's actually crazy? I used to have I used to have a modded Xbox. The not the Xbox 360, the original Xbox. I had it modded. It had a chip, and I had a custom hard drive on it. And don't tell anybody I was doing this, but I got like a monthly pass to Blockbuster when they were open. So we're talking like 12, 14 years ago. So I'd get that unlimited pass, and I would just upload games into my Xbox because it was modded. So I've got literally like hundreds of games on there, and then I have like hundreds of thousands of emulators. So like all the old Nintendo games are on there, all Game Boy games, all the ColecoVision and Atari. I have like, and I still have that modded Xbox, and I still play like the original Battlefront, Star Wars, and all that. It's all on there. It's pretty awesome. You and me in 2K, let's go. Jamie, you do not stand a chance, bro. You don't want to see me on 2K. It's going to be embarrassing, man. I'll bury you, bro. Pokemon. Isn't that game where you go around trying to find stuff like you walk into cars and you walk in streets trying to find like Pikachus and whatnot? I didn't know you could jailbreak PS4s and 3s. All right, so at that point, it's considered modified, and uh, I'm guessing it might void your warranty. I don't know. Uh, yeah, Brian. I don't know if it's an iPad plan, but it's a prepaid SIM that I use in, I forget what it's called. I think it's a Air Card, mobile hotspot, and it's not bad. It's pretty good. I mean, the only thing I use it for this, and I also use it for like running DirecTV Now through one device and streaming it to a Chromecast on my TV. That's really pretty much all I use it for. So the rest of it I do through, or the rest of my internet usage I do through LTE and my mobile hotspot on my phone. Oh, I'm not talking down on Pokemon. I know it's big time. I've never done it or tried it. I see, random people walking around and running into stuff, not paying attention, and it's just funny to watch it. 2 o'clock in Texas right now. All right, so it's 3 o'clock in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's about 80 degrees. I'm sure in Texas it's probably about 105. Uh, Edward Alex, I have FIFA 17, the newest one. I think I do have 16, but I haven't played 16 all year. I've been playing the newest one, the 17. Oh, not Pokemon Go. Okay, so there's a difference between regular Pokemon and Pokemon Go. I did not know that. Minneapolis, Minnesota in the house. So what is it like 80 degrees in Minnesota? It's about the only hot month for them, isn't it? Things start to cool down pretty soon. You know what, Brian? I'm thinking about the Nighthawk, but like I'm thinking about going back to cable, man. Uh, as much as I hate to do it, I don't want to go back to cable. I know. Uh, I don't know if I want to invest in a $250 modem when I could just go back to paying, the 50, 60, $70 for the 50 meg internet and just going with that. Uh, I mean, if I wanted 100 meg, Brian, I could probably get it for about 79 or $80, something like that. Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna kind of mull my options. Oh, 18 is the most recent. Oh yeah. 18. That's the one I'm playing, Riley. I've been playing FIFA 18. That's the one I got. It's the one that has Ronaldo on it. Yeah, that's the one. Edward, is that a challenge, dude? Let me show you how the game is played. All right. Uh, we'll try to get a game in a little bit later. I'll write down your gamer tag there, and we'll get a game in. You know what, Brian? I had Cox for a while. That was my cable provider that gave me internet, and it was not. And I tried all types of modems. I tried their modem. I tried mine. I tried two in one, modem router combos. I tried modem and then a separate router. I don't know. It was just bad reliability. It was always cutting out. It was always disconnecting. You had to restart, reboot. It was so annoying. And like when I'm home, fine, I'll troubleshoot it and I'll figure it out. But like when my wife's home and she's calling me and texting me, the internet's not working. It got so annoying. I couldn't do it anymore. Yeah, Riley, it's the one that has Ronaldo on it. He's on the cover. Yeah, Jamie, you can upload videos directly from your phone to the YouTube app. So, Nintendo 504, what's your setup? Who's your provider? What device are you routing or broadcasting your service? Well, it's a shame they call you Messi because Messi sucks. No, man. I didn't say he's in. I mean, I know he's in the game, but he's the one on the cover of the game. Trying Ting Unlimited 45. How is Ting's service? What Ting was MVNO of T-Mobile, right? See, I wouldn't be able to use T-Mobile as an LTE provider in my case. The problem with T-Mobile around here in the Cleveland area is they've got some really, really nice pockets of coverage. Like there are places where it's really, really good and really fast. Then there's places that the tower density is just poor, and they can't get a signal, and the speeds are just really bad. I do not get to say Messi sucks. Man, I know Messi doesn't suck, but I'm a Ronaldo guy, man. Ronaldo's a better player. He showed it in the World Cup. He's proven it over the many years. It's a body of work. He's just a great champion. Not that there's anything wrong with Messi. I just don't think he's on Ronaldo's level. And that's just the way it is. That's my opinion. You know what, Riley? It's crazy. I can't believe Ronaldo left. I mean, now in retrospect, you could say, oh, wow, the writing was on the wall because right after they won the championship, there were rumors and talks of him leaving. I didn't think he was going to go into Italy, though. I didn't think he was going to play for Juventus. I was surprised. I thought he was going to go to uh, like PSG or something. I thought Neymar was out, and I thought he would go there, go to France. But now that I think about it, I'm not surprised. I think this is a good move for him, and they're going to be awesome. They're going to be a really good team with him on there. No Fortnite for me. I don't play anything like that. I do have Fortnite downloaded on my Xbox. My brother-in-law plays it, but like I've never played it. I don't know much about those antennas, Nintendo 504. Uh, I couldn't comment on that. If he went to PSG, would have crapped myself. I mean, I don't know why things soured so much in Real Madrid. I mean, it was his team. Maybe there were things that happened behind closed doors that led to you know just not going back and moving on from it. So, um, Jamie, how do you feel about the Cavs next year? The Cavs are going to suck. Man, it's going to be a bad year. They're going to win like 31 games. They gave Kevin Love that big money because they just want a face to the franchise, but they're not going to be good. Sexton is a good player. That boy, good. Colin Sexton, I think is his name. He's a good player, man. He's got some dog in him. He's mean. He's got a mean streak. I like it. He'll be a good piece moving forward. They got to get rid of J.R. Smith. They got to get rid of Tristan. You know, they've got some bad contracts. They're still trying to get rid of Kyle Korver. It's all those garbage contracts that the Cavs are stuck with because of LeBron. LeBron wanted all these guys paid. They're all on his management team. Their legal representations, their agents are through LeBron's management team. It's all LeBron. When LeBron goes to a team, he gets his hands involved in the roster, and this is what you're left with. A bunch of scrubs that are overpaid. George Hill is making $20 million this year, just so you guys know. I think Tristan's at like 18 million. J.R. Smith's at like 14 million. It's ridiculous. These guys aren't worth it. Yeah, Clarkson. Isn't Clarkson getting like 14 million this year? It's absurd. I mean, you can build with him moving forward, but not at that price. Sheesh. LA, it's crazy. LA literally dumped all the salary off their team, pushed them onto us, and now they had all the flexibility, including the ability to sign LeBron and like Rondo and all these other guys. Surprised Bale is still there. I'm hearing that actually they're going to build with Gareth Bale. He's going to be kind of the centerpiece of their attack. Not that they have a lot of options at this point, but that looks to be like he's going to be leading their attack. I mean, do you remember the goal he scored in the final in the championship game? He is a very talented player. Gareth Bale is the truth. Um, they might as well just kind of give him the keys to the attack and build around him. Edward Alex says, I'm going to have you looking like Neymar. Never, never, ever. Never have me looking like that. Uh, Jamie, I like Larry Nance. He's a very well coached player. He plays hard. He tries to do things the right way. He's coachable. George Hill, come on, man. Dude can't make free throws when it matters. Uh, there's a reason why San Antonio traded him to Indiana. There's a reason why he's involved in all these trades to Sacramento and all that. He's nothing, man. And especially not at $19 million. Yeah, Riley, I ran into your uncle, man. I think it was last week or earlier this week. Yeah, he's a nice guy, man. Brian asked if I'm into the wireless industry. Nope. Nope, no connections to the wireless industry. I'm just a guy who's really into the network technologies and tries to be an informed consumer and advocate for consumers all over the nation. Jeez, Edward. Ronaldo is just an overpaid player like LeBron. First of all, Ronaldo and LeBron, neither of them is overpaid. They deserve even more money than they get for what they do in their playing field. They deserve more. I say pay them more. You guys got to keep in mind, owners are billionaires. Players are millionaires. I'll never take the side of ownership. I believe players should get even more money. Just give it to them. Back up the truck. How about Rodney Hood? No. I would have Rodney Hood out of here on the first plane ticket anywhere. He's a loser. I hate that guy. Your coach tells you go in and play, and then you say, "Nah, I'm good. Let Jose Calderon go play." It's ridiculous. That dude's a bum. Brian, yeah, definitely. I would consider a partnership. Yeah, I would want it to be similar channels. I'd want the content to be aligned with mine, uh, so it could have some sort of connection. Um, so yeah, I'd be definitely open to that. David Brown says he's paid by Verizon. uh, they got paid so much because they're good and able to perform well. Of course. Yeah. I mean, shouldn't the best player of their era and generation be the top paid player? I mean, yeah, why would they be overpaid? The overpaid guys are the ones that don't perform and still make a top 90% salary. Yeah, Daniel. I saw that. So Google has realigned some of its pricing and its offerings for like YouTube Music and YouTube Red. They're calling it like YouTube Premium now. They're combining the services and they're making it like one lump fee. I did see that and hear about it. It might be useful to some people. I don't know. I don't really use the services. It's not something that I care too much about, but to somebody it might be. You know what, Jamie? The Cavs will not make the playoffs next year. No, sir. They will not. The East is better, and the Cavs got a lot worse. Remember, the Cavs were a fourth seed last year with LeBron, the best player in the game. Dang, Edward. Putting down Ronaldo? The dude's a total winner. Like, I mean, he's got championships stacked up. Like, he carries Portugal in every World Cup, makes them relevant, and they compete. I mean, what else do you want from the guy? I mean, if you don't like him on a personal level, fine, but you can't discredit what he's done as a player. All right, Jamie's going with the Boston Celtics to win the East. That's probably the most likely scenario, but I'll throw in Philadelphia as a wild card. I'll put them in there in the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston. I guess you got to kind of put in Toronto there, like Kawhi Leonard if he's healthy. I mean, that team is really good. They basically just swapped out DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard can score a little bit better than DeMar DeRozan and defend a million times better than DeMar DeRozan. So, I think they've upgraded quite a bit. I don't know if that's good enough to beat Boston, though. Brian, that's awesome. Rumor going around that the NFL Red Zone is coming to DirecTV now. I would love that because I play fantasy football and I watch the NFL Network like all day Sunday. So I watch the Browns and then I watch the NFL Red Zone. All right, so David, what's the new cost of the YouTube Premium? Like, what's that bundle? I know it gets you the YouTube Red and the YouTube Music. If you say so, Edward. Something going on in that front office? What are you talking about? Toronto or Boston? You know what, Daniel? The Houston Rockets, their window, yeah, last year was like this open. For next season, it's like this open. They got a lot worse defensively, and if they're adding Melo, I mean, he's not going to do anything for you that you can't get out of James Harden or Chris Paul as it is. I mean, they didn't get better; they got worse. So David Brown, you're paying 15 for that bundle. Okay, so are you going to keep that service moving forward, or you know, do you kind of not see the value in it anymore? You know what, Riley? Spotify is a good service. When people ask me what music services I use, I personally use Pandora because I feel like Pandora is a good way to discover new music and hear like relevant artists to what you've chosen. But like Spotify, its premium services are really nice because not having the ads and you get to hear like the artist itself create the playlist. I think it's a good service too. I agree. All right, Edward. So I understand that players age and they're not as effective as they used to be, but I'm not gonna say that Ronaldo's done. The dude is still a top player in the world. Like, come on, man, give the guy his due. Stop bashing Ronaldo. You know what, Pete? I tried Google Play Music for a while, and some days when I would listen to it, I would really like it, and then some days it would play music that I. Wow, 50 to 100 videos a day. Yeah, yeah, I'd say that you use it pretty well. I mean, you're getting your money's worth, that's for sure. You know what, Riley? So you're probably right about the Ronaldo and Messi. So the next World Cup, Ronaldo would be what, 30, 36, and Messi would be 35. So yeah, even if they played, I mean, what would be their effectiveness at that point? Uh, this is kind of like what happened with Ibrahimovic. So yeah, I agree. They probably won't see another World Cup. France, hey, you know what, Riley? You could ask anybody. When when people were asking me who I thought was going to win the World Cup, I said France. I kid you not. I felt confident in it. They are the most deeply talented team. Their attack is incredible. Their defense is impregnable. Goalkeeping was top notch. They were just a great World Cup team. They completely dominated the World Cup. And it wasn't even close. And Mbappe, wow, what a young player. He's going to be great. Uh, I don't know if he's as good at 19 as like Messi or Ronaldo was when they were 19, but that's irrelevant. The player he is right now is part of the reason why they won. So I think very highly of France. You know what, Jamie? Both Spotify and Apple Music are really good. If you adopted Spotify early, you're probably sticking with them. But if you're an Apple user and say you've got like 3 or 4 people on a family plan, Apple Music is good too. Um, so I guess my opinion is whatever you like in that case. But I think Spotify offers, you know, they've been offering a good service for a while, so you can depend on that. Yeah, that's true. You're the library usage, Pete. Yeah, that'll make it a lot better. Houston Texans going to the Super Bowl? Man, I really like the players they got on their team. Uh, DeAndre Hopkins is he's a truly amazing wide receiver. Man, he is unstoppable. Um, I don't know. Quarterback play is kind of a wild card. We have such a small body of work. Uh, he's coming off the ACL tear. He's really good though. So I put him in the playoffs for sure. I got the Texans winning the division. Um, I don't know. They might lose in the. No, I'll give them the second round. Let's get yeah. We'll peg them losing in the second round. But I think Super Bowl is a little bit premature. Plus their running game. I don't know if they have what it takes. Like Lamar Miller, Deontay Foreman, who's coming off an injury. I don't know. I don't know. The running game's kind of lacking. I know Riley loves the PSG, man. He's all about PSG. They're a good team. They are a really good team. Edward Alex says there's a viewer out there thinking Android guy, Ronaldo fan, and tech guy. Did we just become best friends? uh, hey man, what can I say? I those are the things I like. Uh, but they're not the only one. Like hey, FC Bayern. I love that German team. I think they're awesome. They can't seem to win the big game when it matters, but you know that team is great. They've got a great defense, excellent goalkeeping. So yeah, I'm not just like, Premier League, Champions League, stuff like that. And Android, it's just Android's what I use. No issues with Apple users at all. Chicharito. Actually, so Chicharito's one of my favorite players. Um, God, man, I haven't really been following him too much, but I remember when he was just a substitute for Real Madrid when he first got transferred there, and actually he had to leave there because he was referred to as a super sub. They're bringing him in at like the 80th minute to try to get a quick goal. He's a very talented player. How old is Chicharito now? I mean, I've followed him even when he was a very young player in his development. But yeah, he's an excellent player. Instant offense, really really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a great player. Riley says the Ronaldo of Mexico. Mexico's underachievers. They got some talent. Herrera. Chicharito. They have players. I'm surprised they don't make more noise when they play World Cup. Uh, so yeah, I like the Mexican roster. I think they're good. They just don't seem to achieve. I wish they'd play better when it matters most. Yeah, Edward. They played for a few seasons. They played at Real Madrid. The only problem is, I think, because Benzema was so tightly tied to the attack for so long at Real, Chicharito was never actually to get his permanent spot in the attack. Um, he was always playing off the bench. All right, we're at an hour and 36 minutes strong. Got 9 people in the chat. All right, so we're hanging in there. We'll probably give it a go until. We'll see if we can make it till about 4 o'clock. Then your boy's got to get to the gym for leg day. Yeah, it's a shame. The way that they used Chicharito made no sense. You know, I thought they would utilize him more in the attack for a longer duration during matches, but it just never worked out for him there. Plus, they were stacked, man. They have so many players. There were guys that were on the bench that never saw the light of day that would have been absolute stars on any other team in any other league. All right, so who else is in the chat? I see that there are 10 people, and we've just got a few kind of in here talking soccer. If you guys have any general questions, it doesn't have to be soccer related. It could be anything. It could be tech related, network related, plan related, phone related. We got the new Pixel phones coming up. Leaks and renders have been coming out. We've got new Galaxy, the Note 9 coming out. It's got some cool S Pen features. There's some new network plans out there. Sprint changed a lot of their plans. So, you know what, Riley? That was a great team. Ozil is back in the news, but for all the wrong reasons. Kaká, Di Maria, they were a great team. They really were. But I mean, they were great this year too. I mean, they won it, obviously. I was really devastated. For those of you that don't know, my new favorite team, and it's because of one player. My new favorite team is Liverpool. Mohamed Salah is awesome, a great young player. But I actually learned to really like the team. Sadio Mane is a great talent. Uh, Mohamed Salah is a great talent. Roberto Firmino, the Brazilian striker, he's a great player. Not the fastest player, but precision striking. He is excellent. Good attack. They're awesome. Chicharito is the T-Mobile of soccer. All right, so Peter says, I'm tempted to dip on the Pixel 3 if it'll be forward compatible with 5G on T-Mobile. When you say forward compatible with 5G on T-Mobile, there's no way to know that for sure except by the processor. So we're expecting the Snapdragon 845, so I would say no, it's probably not going to be compatible with 5G on T-Mobile. Might want to wait for the next generation of Pixel then. Yeah, I love Liverpool, man. They're a great team. I love Liverpool. Good goalkeeping, too. I think an underrated defense, too. I think their defense is pretty good. Now, Pete, if you were going to get the Pixel 3, would you get the smaller one? It's going to be a 5.4-inch display. Or would you get the Pixel 3 XL? I think that one's going to be like a 6.3-inch display. Edward says Barcelona here. Yeah, I'm not into Barcelona, bruh. Not my thing. I used to like Barcelona, but this is like pre-Neymar days, so it's been a while. Nice, David. Making some dough there. Nice. Peter says, I don't upgrade for new bands. I upgrade for new standards. Nice. So, new design, new software features. Yeah, some people upgrade because of band compatibility, but that's usually with a network that's growing. For networks that are well established, like AT&T and Verizon, I wouldn't necessarily be looking to upgrade because of bands. I would be looking to upgrade because of, improved camera, improved, processing power, stuff like that. You know what, Pete? Like, I don't know how good T-Mobile's offers are anymore. I feel like all offers from all carriers are pretty much the same. They give you a deal over 2-year installment plans, and they lock you in. You're pretty much married to them for 2 years, and that's how you get your bill credits. So they're all pretty much the same at this point. Yeah, I'm not a big Neymar fan. I used to be a bigger fan of him, but over the last few years, he's kind of grown on me like fungus, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe maybe it has to do with his back. I don't know. He had that back injury back in the day. Was it like 4 or 5 years ago? I feel like he hasn't been the same player since then. That's just me. Oh, I remember that promo, Peter. Yeah, if you bought the Pixel from Verizon, uh, because Verizon is the exclusive carrier of the Google Pixel phones, they would pay you basically to switch. So they would pay off the phone and you would go there. I remember that. Yeah. But like I said, I would want to test it on a T-Mobile SIM first to see what type of speeds I would get because on the Verizon network, it works flawless. The I could really only recommend the Google Pixel on the Verizon network if speed is what you need. But like if speed is secondary and it's like not the most important thing to you and you're fine with like normal speeds, then yeah, it'd be fine on T-Mobile. No, you don't need a lot to make a podcast, man. You just got to start making the podcast itself. Just start recording, get some topics that you want to cover, get some confidence in your voice, know what you want to say. Uh, have a strong opinion and make sure you mean what you say, and that conviction and that confidence, people will enjoy your content. Even if they don't agree with what you have to say all the time, they'll listen to what you have to say because, your input is good. You know what, Edward Alex? I own the Google Pixel 2 XL, and my model doesn't have screen issues. It's not the best screen. Uh, the saturation is not as good as, like, say, a Galaxy, but it's a pretty good display. I mean, it's fine. I can't say that I've had issues with it. The blue tint issues that people are talking about, I don't look at my phone from weird angles, so it's not really a problem to me. I think a lot of that was overblown, but I do think that some models were bad, and I think it was like certain batches of displays. Berkey, what up? Welcome to the live chat. Thanks for stopping by. So you know what, David? That's all. I haven't tried the Google Pixel on T-Mobile. That's something I would want to do because I've only used it on Verizon, and it's really fast. I'd want to see as long as it gets the three carrier aggregation, like Verizon does. Uh, so as long as it gets three carriers, then I'm with it on T-Mobile. The only problem is because T-Mobile doesn't sell it in their stores, most people don't know that they can have it on T-Mobile. That's the way it is in the US. Like people think you have to buy your carrier from or you have to buy your phone from your carrier when you don't. Uh, Anybody who buys an iPhone, I recommend buying your iPhone through Apple and not through a carrier, but they offer you these deals like, okay, trade in your old phone, we'll give you $300 on trade-in, and people think that's the best deal you can get. Uh, so like I said, yeah, I just want to test it, that's all. No, I mean, Jamie, what are you going to need for your podcast? You're going to need a device to record. You're going to need a microphone and, whatever. And then you've just got to be able to upload it and people will listen to what you have to say. See, David, I don't have like the first batch of the Pixel. I have, and when was mine? My manufact. I think mine was manufactured like the second month of production. So I don't know. Maybe it was just some of each batch, or maybe it was the first batch, or I don't know what it is. But I don't know. People made the display issue a big deal. I think it was overstated. I mean, if you had an issue with your screen, they were giving you a new one, you know? Somebody asked me when is a good time to upgrade their phone if they're only concerned about compatibility with 5G. Uh, if compatibility with 5G is going to be your main concern, and you would only upgrade for something like that, I'd probably wait another year and a half. I would probably wait till like maybe 2020 to upgrade my phone. So if you're happy with what you got and your next upgrade is going to be 5G related, I'll just wait till 2020. Maybe wait for the next, that year's Galaxy phone or something like that. That's really sad, Riley. So, you could spend five, six, $700 on an iPhone, use it for 2 years, and then when you're going to trade it into your carrier, they'll give you $50 to $100 in credit. But if you're willing to sell it on your own to like a third party website like eBay or Swappa or some other service like that, you could probably pull in $250 on the phone. So, and the thing about selling your phone as opposed to trading it in, if you trade in your phone, you're going to get it over credits, the value. So it's like they're going to give you $50 to $100 and they're going to give you like $8 off each bill each month for like 2 years. So it's kind of sucks. You could just sell it, on eBay to a user for $250, and then that money is transferred to your PayPal account instantly. So it's definitely a better way to go that way. Yeah, 2020 for upgrades. As long as if it's about 5G, give 5G a full year of deployment to see it in more markets and to test to see if it's really worth it. You know what I mean? We'll probably see some of the markets receiving 5G on a substantial level at that point. For now, it's going to be real spotty. It's going to be a handful of markets in the U.S. You know what, Edward, Alex? If the iPhone has a gigabit ready phone, I would be extremely surprised. When it comes to network speeds, iPhone's never been a trailblazer. They've never, used really capable chips that push speeds for networks. They've never been like that. So if you want that, then you're going the Galaxy route for sure, or like the high end LGs or whatever. You've got to have the Qualcomm Snapdragon SoC, the most recent flagship. So like, what is it going to be? The Snapdragon 855. It's got to be a phone that has that chip. From the last time I checked, I think Apple still has Intel as making the chips for the next few generations of iPhones. It's going to be tough, Riley. The 5S and the 5C, they're just so dated. I mean, but you'll get something for it. I'm sure there's a small population of people out there that still want that small form factor, that one-handed device. So yeah, just go on eBay or Swappa and see what people are getting for them, post it, and see what you get. All right, so Pete says that his city has the antennas that are ready to upgrade to 5G. So in that case, Pete, all it's going to take is a software switch, and boom, 5G is going to be ready. It'll be broadcasted. The only problem is hardware-wise, nobody has phones that are compatible with the spectrum, so they're going to be using those 5G pucks that are going to rebroadcast the Wi-Fi signal. Yeah, the iPhone has always been... They've always been behind when it comes to features that we care about here on the channel. They were slow with Wi-Fi calling. They were slow with mobile hotspot. They were slow with carrier aggregation. It's always been like that. It's frustrating to see such a mainstream device struggle with those network features. Things that are so common in Android, which is one of the things I've always been frustrated with. Like I always felt like Apple could do more to give their customers more features. Peter says, I'm not looking forward to the pucks. Well, then, what are you going to do? You know what, Riley? That's true. If you got $50 for your iPhone 5C And 75 bucks for your iPhone 5S. I mean, that's 125 bucks, right? So Nintendo 504, did you say you have Sprint or T-Mobile? All right, so to the best of my knowledge, Band 66 is strictly for speed and capacity, isn't it? Like that's their newest band that's designed to support the network in places where there's a lot of congestion. Okay. See, if I was gonna be on T-Mobile currently, like say I wanted to switch from Verizon or whatever, I would have to have a phone that was compatible with Band 66 and 71. If I'm traveling, I want to make sure I have that coverage. And if I go to a market where there's a high population of users on the T-Mobile network, I'd have to have Band 66. There's just no way. I mean, T-Mobile has a fast network. Why would I want it any other way? David Brown recommends Mint Mobile. So it's good, I'm guessing. Pete says if you're in Eastern PA, you need Band 71 on T-Mobile or you're getting no service. So public service announcement, courtesy of Peter. Get a phone with Band 71 support if you live in Eastern Pennsylvania. Traveling on the interstate, probably you still need that support, I would imagine. Yeah, David, the Band 66, I mean, that's probably critical in some bigger cities, though. You know, I don't know if they have it in Minneapolis, but, you know. Ooh, Sprint. So Sprint's pretty good in Eastern PA. That's good to hear. I thought Band 66 utilized mid-band spectrum. No, okay. I feel like Band 66 uses 700 megahertz, most positive. And its Band 71 uses the 600 megahertz. And I think those are the two newest developments for T-Mobile. That's pretty much all the newest network deployments are in those two bands. Uh, okay. All right, David. So that's kind of like the technical aspect to it. All right, guys, it's 1 hour and 54 minutes into the live stream. We're winding down. We've got about 5, 6 minutes left. So anything you want to ask or mention, go ahead and hit it in the live chat. We're going to wrap things up here pretty quickly. So get in what you want to. And if you guys are concerned, for those of you on T-Mobile or an MVNO of T-Mobile, visit the T-Mobile website if you want to see if your area has received a Band 66 or Band 71 upgrade recently in the past, or currently are undergoing those types of upgrades. Jamie, you'll need a microphone only if you're trying to get a superior audio quality for whatever you're using to record. So, like, if you're using your phone or if you're actually using your computer, you can have that a microphone for that use. Advert for Ting. You know what? I agree, Edward. The typing does suck. It just doesn't like autocorrect. The spelling is atrocious. Uh, yeah, Peter, the mics always do better with noise cancellation. They pick up what is being intended to be picked up, and they're also more sensitive, and the sound quality is better. So there's a lot of advantages to using a microphone as opposed to not. If you're going to be making a dedicated podcast, I would definitely get a mic for sure. Get a high quality mic, and use that. Anything else for the good of the order? We're an hour and 56 minutes in. We're going to be wrapping this up here in the next few minutes. Oh, I meant to ask you guys, for those of you in here, I got 9 people in the live chat. Give me your feedback. So I've done 2 reaction videos. One was a reaction to a Sprint ad. That was the newest one. And the other one was the reaction to the Sprint T-Mobile merger proposal to Senate and Congress that they had a few weeks ago. Do you guys like the reactions to those? I could do more of those if you like them. It doesn't take much to do them. They're really easy. And, like I could do a Sprint advertisement here and there. I could do a Verizon advertisement, AT&T, T-Mobile. Anytime there's something new that I catch, I could do like a reaction and review to it. If you guys like those, they're kind of fun to me because, otherwise, who cares about an ad? But add it as a feature to the channel. It's kind of fun. Nice, David. Buzzing. All right, Riley says, should I buy a pair of Apple AirPods or are they not worth the money? They're worth the money if you like having, a device that's completely in sync to the headphones. They're made for usage with the iPhone. They sync instantly. I guess they stay paired at a very reliable way. So they're definitely, if you're all in on Apple hardware, then I say by all means go ahead. But if you just want a pair of good Bluetooth headphones that are wireless, there's other ways to go. You can get a higher quality, better performing pair of Bluetooth headphones that are wireless. But yeah, if you're already kind of knee deep with the Apple Watch and the iPhones and the iPads, then yeah, the AirPods make sense. Nintendo 504 says, how do I view if I have band 71? City-wise or hardware-wise? Like, are you asking about your phone or are you asking about your region? Edward Alex, I got you, man. I got you. I'll screenshot that. So Nintendo 504, all you got to do is go to the T-Mobile website, and I think there's like a network section for like network upgrades, and it'll show you like where Band 71 has already been deployed, and then where Band 71 is currently being deployed, and where it's going to be deployed in the future. So they give you separate lists. I think what I'll do is on my next T-Mobile video, I'll throw in the links in the description box, and you can get access to it that way. Yeah, it's true, David. The ads are short. But, it makes for a quick little 2-minute video on my part. I have to do much to, really, get it to just throw out there. I think it's just, a little funny thing, especially when the ads themselves are entertaining. David Brown says, use the app Signal Check Pro. Yeah, there's Signal Check has a free app, but it doesn't give you all the features that the Pro does, and the Pro shows you everything. Gives you all the band availability and all that. So, yeah, that's pretty good too. Yeah, and Pete says if your phone has band 71, you can Google the antenna specs. Yeah, just go to like GSM Arena or any of the other websites that show you a full spec list of all the different bands. Say like band 2, band 4, band 66, band 71, band 12, whatever, 14. Yeah, if you've got the paid one, I think that's the Pro. Edward Alex, I know that Amazon Prime phones have like Prime ads in them for the, products that you might like or whatever. I'm not interested in that. That's a little bit too intrusive for me. I wouldn't be into that. It's bad enough our apps already have ads when you get the free version of them, which makes you want to buy the paid version. So, yeah. Yeah, that's a heck no for me also. All right, guys, we are at the 2 hour mark. I hung in there as long as I could. Wanted to be there for the live stream for you guys on time today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. I appreciate all of you that contributed to the live chat. Thank you all for stopping by. It was excellent. I had a lot of fun. The next video up and coming should be the podcast, which I think I'll have it released to Patreon. I'll probably do it Sunday evening, Sunday afternoonish. YouTube won't get it until probably Monday at some point. And of course, we'll have the regular weekly updates as well. So stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe. Next one. Peace.